That's what it is. And anything else you want to say to the fans?
I just want everybody to tune in Saturday night and put on a great show and a great performance, regardless of who I fight. And shout out to Dante's Boxing Nation, man. They're my people, man. They're good people.
Dante's Boxing Nation, what's going on, guys? Well, congratulations to Errol Spence. Another very dominant performance. This time he does it against a very durable, tough Mexican fighter who had never been knocked down or knocked out, Alejandro Barrera. And Errol Spence does it with body shots. He breaks him down with body shots, a very durable opponent. This was a very impressive performance considering the fact that this was somewhat of a step up in competition. One thing we got to see is Errol Spence get punched in the mouth, just like Danny Garcia was saying. It's funny because they were asking Danny Garcia, if he was going to fight someone like Errol Spence. And Danny Garcia, he replied by saying, man, he got to at least get punched in the mouth before he could call out people like me. That's what he basically said. Well, we seen Errol Spence get punched in the mouth tonight, okay? Alejandro, he did a good job of using foot movement and landing uppercuts. He caught Errol Spence a couple times with some really good uppercuts and some good straight right hands. And it did not deter Errol Spence. Didn't deter him at all. You have to also take into consideration Alejandro, he had a good knockout ratio. So he has some power. And he was catching Errol Spence with some good shots. Now, what I like about Errol Spence, a lot of fighters, they would look at a performance like that as a flawless performance. A lot of fighters, trainers, and fans alike, they'll get mesmerized with the knockout and they'll overlook the small flaws in the fight. But I pay attention to all of that, and obviously so does Errol Spence, because Errol Spence, he said after this great performance that wasn't his best performance and he gave himself a B. A lot of fighters, they'll say something, if you see fighters, undefeated fighters, get caught with too many shots or just not look their best, they'll make excuses and they'll say, oh, well, I just wanted to please the fans and this and that, and that's exactly how we wanted to fight. We just wanted to give you guys more rounds instead of me knocking them out in the first round. You'll hear some fighters say stuff like that. Not Errol Spence. Errol Spence is very realistic, okay? And he's a person who practices perfection, because you're giving yourself a B in a performance like that. That means he wants to be perfect. He doesn't just want to be average. And that's what I seen. It also reminds me of when Floyd Mayweather fought against, I forget, was it against Maidana? When he fought against Maidana in a rematch, and he said, it was a C average type of performance, right? But what's so crazy is Floyd Mayweather's C average type of performance is usually another fighter's A performance. Errol Spence, he said something pretty interesting at the end of this fight. He said, hopefully, because this wasn't my best performance, it'll give these opponents or these fighters more confidence to get in the ring with me. But I doubt that's going to happen, because even though he doesn't think that was his best performance, I think that performance was enough to still instill more fear into a lot of these welterweights. But it doesn't really matter anymore, because now Errol Spence is in line to fight for the IBF title, because this fight was a title eliminator bout, and he's going to fight one more eliminator. And after that, then he's going to get to fight Kell Brook. And that will not be an easy fight, because a lot of people believe that Kell Brook is the best welterweight champion right now out of all the welterweight champions. So, yeah, man, Errol Spence is closing in on these cats. And once Errol Spence grabs the title, these fighters won't be able to make excuses anymore saying that he's not ready. If you beat Errol Spence, obviously you're ready. But that's, once again, man, that will be a very, very difficult fight for Errol Spence. And that will be the test of all tests right there. So I can't wait, man. It's looking like 2016 is going to be a hell of a year in the sport of boxing. With Tyson Fury dethroning Vladimir Klitschko, Now you have a possible Tyson Fury versus Deontay Wilder fight next year. You got Anthony Joshua coming up. You got Errol Spence on the verge of possibly fighting Kell Brook, and just many other fights out there. Canelo Alvarez just beating Cotto. Now he's in a position to where he's going to have to put up and shut up. He's probably going to be forced to get in the ring with Gennady Golovkin because they're going to put a lot of pressure on him when it comes to taking that fight. So we'll just see, man. We'll see what'll happen. But Errol Spence, man, is looking good. And you can tell that Errol Spence, he has genuine power. Okay? This guy, I mean, when you're knocking out guys, it's one thing to be knocking out guys who's already been knocked out before, right? But when you're knocking out guys that have never been knocked down, never been knocked out, and you're doing it in such a vicious fashion, it says a lot about his power. I truly believe that Errol Spence, he may have the power to knock out guys that's on his level, which is not easy to do. But he may be able to do it. So we'll see, man. We'll see what happens in the future. That's all I got for now. And I'll be talking a lot more about this on my radio show on Tuesday. But that's all I got for now. I'm on to the next one.